Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 5, Vam versus Viper. Spotting in on the left side, it is Vam playing as the Mongols in blue on King of the Hill. And on the right, we do have, in red color, who exactly, Ozzy?
Spawning in over on that right side, playing as the Red Rus. It is the one, the only, TheViper. And he's got a beautiful little base set up here. Once again, he's got food spawning towards the front, stone towards the back. And, I mean, all he really needs to worry about here is the food. And so it's definitely a bit of a difficult spot, but look at this Mongol spawn back here. He's got a great spot back here. Nice and safe underneath the Uvu. Gold relatively close to him as well, so I think he's going to be pretty happy with that Wham.
Yeah, he has to be happy with that, especially because that gold mine is actually to the south of his town center. So, oftentimes that gold spawns very close to that hill, which leaves it very exposed. But this time around, it's more to the side, and that helps Wham to protect this one. But look at Viper to start off with 3 wolves over there, and that is 2 patches of deer spawning one on top of another. So there's going to be a lot of dancing over here for that hunt. Viper might need to disengage because 3 wolves are no joke over here, and Wham knows that.
Yeah, you got to watch out for these wolves. They are doing damage. Look at the way that they chase him around. And now Wham going to be able to jump in and look to do some damage up against those deer. And Viper going to be able to find himself another sheep. He's going to try his best to come in here and issue some damage out to these deer. Finds himself another one. You can see Wham looking to try and just stick up. You can see him just keeping there. And now the Khan coming back. You can see that wolf actually. That scout's got to be careful. He's very far away from home with that. If that Khan comes in, he's going to be able to chase him, get in on top of it, and then potentially even kill it. Losing the wolves, losing the sheep, that could be very bad for him. And you can see the Khan moving around with intent. I'm curious to see whether the speed arrows come through just yet.
I don't think so. Khan is actually focusing on the sheep rather than the wolves over here, so Vam doesn't want to weaken those wolves. Looks like Viper is going to aggro wolf number 5 here. That is 100 bounty chasing him. He's already at 275, and it looks like Vam is going to give up on that. Viper is going to get to 350 without the boar.
That is an impressive amount of bounty considering the size of this map. This is a pretty small map, so it means that, you know, there's going to be less wolf spawns. There's going to be typically, you know, less action that you can really look to try and guarantee those early numbers. But 350 is that's a huge amount. He might not even need to go for the high trade house here. He'll still
Possibly.
Go for it. He'll still go for it.
Yeah,
he'll still go for it.
He's gonna go for it because otherwise he probably would have placed the hunting cabin in the corner.
Or just not picked Rus on this map. There's a reason he picks Rus on this map. He loves the Rus here. And I gotta be honest with you, man. It is a really nice civilization. Look at that. 370 bounty. This is not Highview. This is not Warring Islands. This is King of the Hill. And that is a 370. Going to be 375. Look at that. He's got more sheep to kill there as well. Jeez Louise.
And the thing is that, as you pointed out, the amount of wolves we have on this map is actually the same as other maps, excluding the maps where you have some extra wolves. But we are spawning this map with 7 wolves out there, just like any other map. But the map is so much tinier, so it's a lot easier for you to find those wolves out there, unless your opponent finds them. So it is easier for both players to bump into those wolves, but if Viper is the one bumping into all of those, it's very easy to secure like 5, 6, or even 7 of those wolves that are scattered across the map.
Yeah, it's one of the things that was sort of notorious in Age of Empires 2 for Viper is, you know, often people said Viper had amazing maps. You know, he had like almost map hacks, sometimes people would say, just because he was always good at finding things. By the way, look at all the deer down here. It's an absolute slaughter. But yeah, managing to find heaps of wolves, he's going to be very, very happy with his opening here for the Rus. But interestingly, not a lot of pressure coming out at this stage, and a barracks coming down for Wham. What is this all about?
Weird timing on this one. You see, he already dropped the pasture. He's mining gold over here. So this is not really a towers aggression with spearmen or anything like that. Maybe. I actually don't know. I'm puzzled. He's popping out spearmen, it seems. Maybe he's trying to potentially prevent the boar play.
I genuinely have... I got no idea at all. This is very, very late. But it is coming out. But
maybe he's going for scouting. Like, what I'm thinking is that if Viper's scouting the base, he doesn't see a barracks, right? You don't automatically assume that the spearmen will come out when Vam starts going up to feudal age, right? This is a delayed barracks because he wants to make Viper believe that there is no spearman coming, but that's not reality.
The reality is there is spearmen. but there's not really spearmen, but there are spearmen. But instead, it looks like a wooden fortress is going to be the case today for Viper. He's got to be careful. He might aggro onto that boar and then bring the villagers or bring the boar over. But you can see the spears being very effective up against that. Going to take out the Khan. So Khan, unfortunately, going to be going down here. I guess we can just type GG in the chat right now. It is a rare occasion to see the Khan go down. But unfortunately, Wham losing his Khan nice and early. That wooden fortress going to be getting up. Another scout going to be going down. So, I mean, overall, a pretty decent trade there for Wham. He's taken out 2 scouts.
Yeah, he's taken out the scouts. Of course, he lost his Khan in the process. And now you see he's dancing around trying to get some damage done. Oh. The weak villager Viper jumps into the tower here, and he's taking a great fight with those villagers now garrisoned.
Yeah, that was very, very close to dying. Fortunately, makes his way inside. But I suspect when that Khan respawns from the dead... Hold on a minute.
She died.
Hold on a minute.
She had to die because only 7 villagers. She had to die as she jumped into the tower.
Rest in peace, young lassie. You were so young, so beautiful. Your life was full of potential. But speaking of potential, take a look at this Lancer running in, or this Knight running in. A couple of villagers. Oh, is he going for an outpost? I think he might be going for an outpost here. Look at this. This is the consequence of going for the boar. Is that there's always an angle. There is always an angle against this boar, and you can see that Wham may have found that angle.
Now Viper is aware of that. And if that tower can reach the board, it's great, but Archer's already popping out here, and this is concerning here for Wham. If this tower doesn't go up, he's in big trouble, and that positioning for that Archer is perfect. Camping at the top of the hill, difficult for those spearmen to access him.
Looks like the outpost is going to be able to get up, though. 4 villagers out here is plenty, and with that outpost coming up, you can expect arrow slits to be coming through any second. There it is, and with that, the boar, highly likely to be denied. It is unlikely that Viper going to be able to gather from here much longer. He's invested a lot of resources here. Not only do you have that hunting cabin, but you've also got the wooden fortress. So it means he's going to have to start thinking about potentially moving up to that boar on the north side.
Possibly, indeed. If Viper decides to... Actually, I'm just now realizing something. Viper's at 380 bounty. Wasn't he at 370 before that boar? I get the feel that Wham denied the bounty rather for that boar, because Viper is supposed to be at 450 by now on that boar.
How could have he denied it, though? Did he even have units in there?
He had a scout that was shooting at it as the villagers were fighting. I wasn't tracking, of course, those bounties, but I'm just now looking at it, and I can see Wham getting the final shot with his scout. Must have been very lucky, because obviously, like 6-7 villagers attacking it plus Viper's scout, so you need to land that final hit yourself, but that's the only reasonable explanation here.
Yeah, that's got to be it. Obviously, the game is not bugged. This is a AAA game, and the developers do I mean, you know what? I'm not going to shit talk the developers. They got a hard job. There's a lot of spaghetti in that code. I'll tell you that much. But look, I'm not going to rule out the possibility, but I will say it's probably more likely that Wham managed to snipe that boar with a single scout, which is impressive. That is like American sniper level of stuff.
Yeah, North American sniper level, to be precise. With Wham being Canadian, proud representative of North America. I always forget, I think it's Wham Smurf is the account called North America, right? It's not Puppy Paw. Puppy Paw is David Kim.
Is it called North America or is it called Keck W? Because I don't know about you, but North America seems a bit of a joke. But I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. But now we got some action down towards the south. Viper coming out with the knights, with the horsemen, with the archers, looking to dish out some damage over onto the forces of Wham. But not going to be able to find any villagers down here at all. But you can see he's picking up units. Those aren't villagers inside. Those are going to be spearmen that are inside that outpost for sure.
Yeah, it has to be. And Viper's lines of reinforcements are cut off. You see that the archers are running past that point because the rally point is set close to the enemy gold. But obviously the shortest path is through this ridge, and this means that that tower from Wham could intercept those units. On the other hand, Viper is grabbing siege engineering, so he's ready to make a push potentially on that gold mine. And that is something that Wham has to respect. Wham is currently sitting at 6 army only. 4 of those are only spearmen garrisoned in that tower.
Well, he's looking to go up to the castle age now. He's got plenty of resources in the bank. So the question is, where does Viper go from here? Because he's thinking about making that... You see the battering ram going down. But Wham's on the Uvu. He's got the barracks. He's got the stable. That's double Lancer, double men-at-arms that are going to be coming out. I don't like the chances of Viper. I'm going to be real with you. But we do see that step out coming down in the back of the base. It looks like a second stable going to be coming down, so there is going to be no shortage of knights that are going to be happening here today. But yeah, Viper, he's in a questionable position. The first battering ram does make its way out, at least almost, and it's going to be rolling its way through to the showers eventually.
The key thing here is that Viper isn't aware of Vam aging up right now, so that's why Viper is not pushing the issue. You see, he's actually shifting the ram towards that tower, and that's actually very helpful for Vam, because obviously the most vulnerable moment for Vam is when he reaches Castle Age. So the moment Vam reaches Castle Age, Viper, he might turn around and just start pushing the base. Looks like he wants to clean that tower up, though I guess he wants his boar back. But this is buying precious time for Vam, and it allows him to start popping out those double Lancers and double Men-at-Arms. Viper, very far away from Castle Age, so the tower spike could be pretty massive for Vam.
Big walls coming in up towards that north side. I'm not sure exactly what that was all about. You can see Viper was walling with about 8 villagers, looking to prevent, I don't know exactly what that was from happening, but he's going to be able to find a nice little opening down towards the south, going to be able to clear up those spearmen and villagers. Hold on a minute. The villagers weren't trapped in there with the Khan. The Khan was trapped in with the villagers, but it looks like there was a hole in the wall.
Yeah, there's a hole in the wall. And if the Lancers come in, that could be a disaster.
Yeah, that's a great point. But you can see Viper actually walling up like a madman right now. Take a look at this. He knows that the Lancers, it's only a matter of time until they get here. And so he's going to try and take every caution he can. And that, unfortunately, means walling like mad.
Yeah, it looks like Vam is only going for the Lancers over here, but this is the window where you start contemplating going for that prayer tent, start popping out the Shaman, pick up the relics, because obviously you want to start building up an eco lead for yourself. You do have the step redoubt as compared to Viper. If you start securing relics, you're gonna have a big lead, because keep in mind, Viper is playing one town center here, so it's not like Viper has a villager lead of any sort. In fact, Viper currently sitting at 25 army. That's the only positive thing that we can say about him right now. But that is a feudal age army as compared to a Castle Age army now coming out from WAM.
Can we just go double check on that entrance to Viper's base? I don't know if you guys saw that, but there was a big gaping hole. That is not a good thing. Hopefully he's going to be fixing that up. A villager going to be walking over there right now. Okay, he's going to be able to seal up this deal. Not going to be happening, but yeah, it looks like Shift Q just doing classic Shift Q things there.
Vam is not adding Men-at-Arms, which is a bit of a problem for him. He's just now queuing up the first batch of double Men-at-Arms, because you see, Viper has added quite a lot of spears, and these Lancers currently struggling to clean this up. I think Vam should have gone for a mix of Men-at-Arms and Lancers from the first moment, because guess what? Those spearmen will be able to repel those initial knights. Ram pushing up alone, though, no escort to it.
Is that Khan trapped? Why is that Khan still up there? That Khan has been working on that wall for the last 3 to 4 minutes, just chilling out, Bing chilling. There is a little gap, but he's just working his way down. He's attacking the gate with the Khan, attacking the other wall segment with the scout. I guess he's just minding his own business.
Yeah, Viper looks like he's going full feudal, though. You see, he has no desire to bank up resources for Castle Age, rather start adding a second ram over here. He doesn't have a ton of blacksmith upgrades, though. And if Vam is playing this one patiently, I feel like Vam can take one decisive fight, and then Viper's army is just going to vanish. But Viper intend to push this gold mine over here.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming out now. Battering ram going to be doing the start of the magic, but now in the middle of the map, we've got an outpost that is slowly being built. Lancers on the backside as well, looking to try and find a way into the base, but you can't help but feel they might be a bit of more use towards this front side. But now all of a sudden, Wham going to be able to spot a bit of an opening. The army is too far away from the battering rams. The first ram going to be going down, second one going to be heading back to the showers, and unfortunately, it looks like the torches from the villagers is going to be way too strong for these rams today. Unfortunately, the ram still does survive. A couple men at arms in here as well. No +1 upgrades, and you can see those Lancers standing on the ledge just calling out to the Khan. Khan, my savior. Khan, come on, you can make it through, but unfortunately the Khan is trapped, just like Stepbro.
Men-at-Arms still in this mix over here. The battering ram manages to take down the tower over here. Vam has enough gold to pop out a couple more Men-at-Arms, but he's actually lacking food for this one. He needs to weather this wave, and he's gonna be in a great position. So he's gonna have to clean this up, and he's fine after that. He still has a couple of Lancers that are trying to come in from the back line, still struggling to get through those walls, though, into Viper's base. But not a lot of spears in this army specifically. Oh, Step Redoubt being pulled back over here under a lot of attack. You don't want to lose that building, because it costs a lot to repair.
Yeah, this is a pretty big loss right here from Wham. He's going to be trying to keep his head above water, but this gold mine, take a look at the other gold mines that he's got access to. I'll give you a hint. There are none. This is a very difficult position for him to be in, and now going to be looking to turn his attention towards the army of his opponent. I feel like Wham thinks it might be do or die, but the mass now for Viper really starting to build. The military numbers here looking very fierce, and Wham going to get repelled despite having the superior army, the superior composition. He does get taken out by the superior numbers.
Yeah, the numbers are looking way better for Viper. I mean, 20 archers, 17 spearmen, 44 army as opposed to just 12. Shaman walking around trying to pick up some relics over here, but that's not gonna be a reality either. And Viper, above all, is buying time for himself. He has to start transitioning to farms, which is not nice. And you see, his fortified policies are actually being burned down on the north by that single scout. With Vam, he's really struggling to capitalize on this castle age right now.
Yeah, it's really tough, and you can see a single shaman out towards the north. Doesn't have a relic in hand, instead has his own death warrant in the hands because he did get killed. But Steppered out, going to be coming back down towards this gold mine on the south side. It is really the only gold mine that is a potential access for him. I guess the other alternative for Wham is that he looks to sell some of the resources that he is gathering up with a market, but he definitely feels like he's between a rock and a hard place right now. Viper is putting on the hurt, he's putting on the pain. He is committing to age 2. Take a look at this. The resources are just all down very low, especially that food. It is especially low, but now falling back once again. The men-at-arm numbers starting to look pretty healthy though. +1 range defense also coming in. This could definitely be a nice little position for Wham. He could look to overwhelm his enemy here.
Yeah, but he's on a timer now because you see Viper is realizing that his window is closing. He's realizing that Wham is building up those men-at-arms. So what is Viper thinking now? Hey, I could start thinking about Castle Age. I may need to start thinking about Castle Age because if the critical mass of men-at-arms is achieved here by Wham, he's going to wipe out my entire army. So that is something that you have to consider. The Steppered out, by the way, got knocked out. You can see that carry just chilling over there to the south, which means that if Wham wants to get it back, he's gonna have to invest a ton of wood into those repairs. Actually, no, he's just chilling there. For a moment, I thought it was knocked out because it suspiciously didn't move. Viper with the push now.
Yeah, we can see that Wham is looking to push out. Men-at-arms starting to get into combat. He's got +1 in. He's going for +2 ranged armor. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's important to remember that with +1 ranged attack, that your archers are going to be doing 5 +1 damage, which is a total of 6. The men-at-arms have a base of 4 armor, with +1 giving them 5, making it so that the archers are only doing 1 damage to them. Getting that second +2 isn't actually going to achieve anything unless you start diving town centers or dealing with crossbows, or the archers somehow miraculously get upgraded to veteran status.
And it's a very expensive upgrade on the gold cost, and you don't really have a lot of gold if you're Wham. Now, Wham is doing a great job with that con, harassing the Viper's eco, and Viper doesn't have anything back at home to defend against this, and looks like Viper is actually playing full feudal, so feudal versus castle for a long time, but Wham is about to reach that critical mass, because if you look at Viper's numbers, they haven't really increased recently. He got like 10 more units on the battlefield. But on the other hand, Wham now has a pretty substantial force of men-at-arms. The concern is that many of those men-at-arms are actually heavily damaged, and that could be alarming for Wham.
Yeah, there's also a lot of knights out for Viper as well. He's got 10 of them out on the field at the moment, and he's trying to find a position down towards the south. Wham is, but it looks like that Khan finally going to be sent back to its resting place. Rest in peace, Khan. You were so young, sweet prince. You spent a lot of time behind enemy lines, but unfortunately, it is time for you to reach your final resting place.
Yeah, it's actually going to get knocked out by the town center, not the knight. Yeah, Viper's critical mass is growing, and look at that. He's going to put up the pressure over here with the wooden fortress being placed on that gold mine. Wham might have no other option but to fight this one.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a terrible fight for him, but those knights are out in fierce numbers here, and no real counter coming through for Wham. We don't see any crossbows at all, so he's going to have a difficult time up against those knights, but you can see Viper looking to push in. He's going to come in against that step redoubt, but once again, the men-at-arms are going to be able to scare it off. We've got a bit of a dance coming through. Take a look at the base for Wham. Hold on a minute. We got 2 town centers back there. We got plenty of pastures. We're talking about resources out the wazoo. Just hold on a minute. Don't count Wham out just yet. Everything looking fine for Wham over here. He's bing chilling very safely in that corner.
Yeah, but he only has 2 villagers lead over Viper over here, and he's got a ton of idols, unable to mine gold as well. And behind this, Viper is banking up resources for Castle Age. Wham has 2 town centers, but can he capitalize on this? Viper's got the superior army right now, I feel, with all those knights mixed in. Viper is ready to push him, and if Viper gets to Castle Age, suddenly everything is going to collapse here for Wham.
Yeah, it's Viper looking really strong in this position. His military numbers looking very fierce. I can't help but feel like just 5 or 6 crossbows would really make the difference here, but, you know, going up against 30 archers, it's definitely a risk that you would be taking, and now we do actually see those archery ranges coming in for Wham. This is a smart move for him, and he's got the market out, which means he can look to do market trading. But now, all of a sudden, those battering rams looking to try and take out pastures, and Wham in a very tough position. He's got no space left up against that forest. The forest expanding around the entirety of the map. And now we see the villagers are moving out towards that battering ram. Going to be sending the first one back to the showers. It looks like the pasture going to be able to make it out alive. It is burning down. It's trying to get down on the ground. Indeed, it does get back, but it is still burning, and Viper going for his high trade house. That is correct. That is the trademark Viper high trade house in the corner. He's going to be looking to achieve a new world record today with his high trade house. Let's see how he does it.
Oh, Vam is just cornered so much, and Vam is still without a single relic. That just tells you how aggressive Viper was cornering his opponent in literal terms. This is really Vam's corner, and this is the only place where he can feel safe if there is any on the map. 27 man-at-arms, or 27 army, only 22 of them being man-at-arms. But look at the other side, 30 archers, 50 knights, 16 spearmen, supported by towers. And what's more important is that in a matter of seconds, we're going to see Viper adding some crossbows. The window is shrinking so rapidly over here for Vam, and I feel like after reaching Castle Age, Viper is going in for the kill.
Did you see the spy? There was a spy on the other side of the map. A single blue sheep was scouting out exactly what Viper is up to. Wham knows that his enemy is going castle. And now we see that Viper sits at a 252 a minute high trade house. Not a bad number at all. And that'll continue going up as the game goes on because he's going to keep killing those deer.
Exactly. 252 for tier 2 is not bad at all, and you see Viper immediately queuing up the archer upgrade, the knight upgrade, and most importantly starting to add crossbows. The only combat unit that Vam has on the battlefield is man-at-arms, so crossbows will deal with this really well. Vam's response to the towers is traction trebuchets, but every single trebuchet is just so expensive for him because he needs to sell resources to be able to afford those. He doesn't have access to any gold.
Now the Springwood emplacement firing off at the villagers down, taking them out one by one, and it's going to take a very quick response from Wham to deal with this. He's going to be having trouble, and you can see he's forced to be idle there. The villagers going to have to reassess the position, and the numbers of villagers continues to fall down for Wham. He's on 66 at the moment, but that emplacement going to keep firing off. But fortunately, the trebuchet is out, so it is dealing with these, but we do see a mangonel coming out for him, also up to 5 crossbows now. He's got 3 more in the queue. So definitely doing the right thing, but Viper's army looking very fierce here. He's at 69 military population.
And he's got battering rams, so he's starting to knock down those production buildings. The resource that Vam doesn't have access to is gold. The second resource that Vam doesn't have access to is space, because he's just cornered. There's nowhere left to go. He cannot even place his buildings because he's so cornered in here.
Yeah, you can't help but feel so damn frustrated for Wham. I know exactly what it feels like being in this position, and now it looks like he's going to be pushing out. He goes for the armor arrow off the Khan. The Khan has finally come back into the game, but now all of a sudden, you can see the damage just coming out behind here. He's just leaving the spears on the backside. He doesn't even need them up the front, choking all of the rest of his units, and now looking to push forward with a pasture or two potentially, but all of the units just getting completely evaporated, and Wham looking like he might be tapping out any second. All of his military has been soaked up by Viper. Viper still sitting on a very cool 69 military population. Wham on the other side. He's tapping out. Good game gets called, and Viper is victorious.
What a clinic here by Viper, and I really didn't believe in him being able to finish this game in Feudal Age. He didn't finish it in Feudal, but he just kept on that pressure for so long. Look at that timeline, the Castle Age differences. That's like a 10-minute Castle Age for Wham, and Viper's at 20 minutes. 10 minutes discrepancy in the Castle Age timings, and Wham couldn't do anything with the Castle Age because Viper was just so relentless with that attack. Goes back to how game number 1 went, really, because Viper wasn't giving a single bit of breathing room for Wham. Just relentless attacks, one after another, and ultimately, that has just worn down Wham.
Yeah, it was a very tough position for Wham to try and come out of that one. Stuck in the corner there, as you mentioned, not only was he being forced off gold, but he was being forced out of space. He had absolutely no space back there. You could see he was trying to reshuffle the buildings constantly and just unable to find a way. Very well played to Viper there.